Green financing NBFC IREDA that's seen a solid debut, listing gains of close to around 55%, which has just increased from the time it's listed. It's also the second most successful PSU listing in the past decade after IRCTC. Mr. Pradeep Kumar Das, who's the chairman, as well as the managing director of the company, joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Das. Good morning and congratulations on a solid listing. We recall you joined us on the show, pre-listing when the IPO was open, and you sounded rather confident. So let's get a couple of numbers going now. Could you tell us what is the growth outlook that you're looking at for FY24 as well as FY25, if you give us numbers? And also your spreads. Give us some clarity out there. It appears you're a little bit lower than some peers. So how do you see that panning out?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me here, as well as for congratulating me, and as well as my congratulations to you all and the citizens of the country, because it was a 100% Government of India company, means it belongs to the entire citizens of the country. Now, of course, 25% it has gone to the others. So thank you again. Now coming to peers, first of all, in true sense and spirit, there is no peers to IREDA. Past, if you see, and present also, if you see, whom you are referring, I can easily say, look at their loan books. We have 77% private sector loan book, and we are 100% green financing. And they are thermal 90%, and then renewable hardly 8 to 10%. And government account 90%, 80 to 90%. So quite different. And yes, the future is renewable and new sources. Thermal will continue to depend for the base load requirement as well as for the peak load requirement. Now, if you see for next 7 years till 2030, already we have the COP commitment of 500 gigawatt installed capacity, as well as this decarbonization of NDC reduction. So renewable energy development, decarbonization and energy transition, three has to work holistically. And business opportunity for additional RE installation for 320 gigawatt will be requiring around 30 to 32 lakhs crores. And out of that, if you take 75 and 25 of debt equity,
Mr. Das,
it will be around 24 lakh crores from debt market. And
indeed. Mr. Das,
we have as on debt from NBFC space around 31%.
Right.
And
so, Mr. Das,
future,
Mr. Das,
if you see last 3 years,
Yeah, Mr. Das, we have some of those numbers, and some of these numbers you'd given it to us even last time around. So let's focus on the growth aspects. We know the total opportunity is massive, but now, given that you're listed on the market, your investors, our viewers will want to know what kind of growth estimates can you put out there. For this year, what kind of growth number? And I think the last time when you were talking about your NIMs, you were talking about 3.5 to around 4% odd. So do you hold on to that number? Will it be leaning more towards 3.5%, or do you think you can head to around 4%? Please go ahead.
The NIM, which was around 3.36 in March 23, it has already gone up to 3.75 in September 23. So which is reflecting a upward trend. And two, if you ask honestly, we never focus on numbers. We have focused on fundamentals and good governance. If you see last 3 years, this is our mantra. Focus on good governance, ease of doing business, transparency. And we have 36 years of expertise. If in last 3 years of CAGR, if you look at, we have grown loan book addition 30% and sanction 72%, disbursement 56%, and the PAT growth also around 58%. We had a PAT of 215 crore in March 20. Vis-a-vis, we had 684 crore in March 23, and in September 6 months we have already 577 crore. So our growth is happening, and it is going to happen. Typically in a non-banking project finance company, especially in a renewable space, which is very challenging and the nuances are different, and we are mastering that. Our focus is now not only to enhance the disbursement and plan, to also retain the customer with us. So we have a philosophy now: once IREDA, always IREDA. We will make all-out effort to retain our customers with us. If required, we may compromise a bit on the NIM side. If you see, last 3 years, we had gone down NIM a little bit because COVID was there. We had to handle them. Today, they are quite comfortable. They are going to work on this addition of 320 gigawatt. So we have tremendous business opportunity. And with this upgradation of Schedule A, which we got in September, and now our company is likely to get Navratna in this month, which is an advanced stage. With a triple S stable and Navratna, Our borrowing cost, again, we can attempt to further reduce. And we have
All right.
another two mechanisms to reduce the borrowing cost also. We'll go for 54 EC. We have requested Government of India, and we have planned for opening an office in GIFT City, where we can borrow in Forex and lend in Forex, where the hedging cost will be naturally hedged. So hedging cost will
Yes.
get reduced. So we
All right.
have the quite action plan in place. We are confident of maintaining this NIM as well as margin. And if you see, we have improved our asset quality, in which where 80% of the generation assets are commissioned, which requires lesser PCR ratio. If you compare with so-called peers, their PCR is quite high.
Right, Mr. Das, we take that point and we wish you good luck for growth going ahead. You said that you've been compounding your loan book at around 30% over the last couple of years. And with the growth opportunities ahead of you, you are likely to see similar rate of growth as well, with margins being maintained at around 3.5% to 4%. You are working towards reducing your cost of borrowing too. On the asset quality, you said that, yeah, the gross NPA has come down over the last couple of years. I just wanted your thoughts on a couple of factors. One, what have the write-offs been over the last couple of years? What is the credit cost that one can look at going forward? Your outlook on asset quality? And this return on equity that you make of 15%, will that sustain or not? Because that is also an important metric to track investments in companies like yours.
Okay. See, if you see the write-off thing you said, I'll tell the entire cumulative write-off in the history of company from the beginning to till September, when we have financed more than 1,07,000 crore, the cumulative write-off is 203 crore, which is less than 0.2%. That speaks about the asset quality and due diligence process in place. Second, 3 years you said about NPA reduction. Yes, net NPA was 7.18 in March 20. And which has come down to 1.66 in March 23. Again, it has come down to 1.65 in September 23. And we are confident in the time to come, we are going to further it reduce. So we are adding the asset, we are improving the asset quality, where in the generation category of financing, we have 80% commissioned asset, which requires lesser PCR. Our PCR is around 48%. So that is improving our bottom line. Once this, the kind of focus what we have adopted for recovering, in last 3 years, we have reduced 1,000 crore from the NPA. And our write-off in 3 years is 21 crore. Again, that is speaking the kind of robust review monitoring mechanism and asset quality management in place. And in time to come, we will be more comfortable position post-listing. Our improvement of Navratna, we are going to further sustain this kind of numbers, as well as we will work on further improving on that.
All right, Mr. Das, thank you so much for joining in and giving us all those details. We will, of course, await more conversations with you, as now you are listed and creating a lot of wealth for Indians and investors in your company. We will speak about, the changes in the business, competitive activity, as well as the impact that you, being a Navratna, will bring to the company. That's about IRIDA, up around 22 rupees, but 70% from its issue price. One of the stronger listings in the recent times. Take a short break, come back. On the other side, we'll get you more on the markets and individual stocks.